Hi everyone, welcome to this live session on skin and hair. I am Dr. Nivedita Dadu. Uh, I am a dermatologist practicing in Delhi. And hi Diksha. Hi everyone. Hi Sejal. Hi Ankita. Hi. Hi Diksha.
Hi, doctor. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How have you been?
Finally to be connected here. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for having me here. I want to thank Skin Diaries for this opportunity. It's going to be one interesting session, Dr. Nivedita.
Yeah. Let's see.
So,
Can
hello,
you?
people. I can see a lot of people are joining in. Should we give it 2 minutes, Doc, for everyone to join in?
Yeah.
You just finished your OPD?
Yeah.
Oh, how lovely. Please, do you want to take the lead, Doc? Let's start.
Yeah. So uh, there are a couple of questions that are being asked. Uh,
So, people, we will be discussing all the new age treatments, hair and skin treatments, and of course, about skincare, home remedies, and in general, a few skin issues that a lot of us have been facing during the lockdown. Right, Doc?
yeah.
So,
So
we
I will
have
be
a lot of
answering questions
questions.
on, yeah, sorry. I'll be
So, we
answering a
have
lot
all
of
the
questions on
questions with
acne.
us.
And
I have
hair.
my diary of 20 plus questions, Doc. So, should we turn off commenting as of now and start in the next half an hour?
Yeah, we can do
We
that.
can take
Or maybe we
live
can, yeah,
questions.
we can take questions as and when possible. So I thought we'll not turn off the comment.
Right, right. Sure. Please, Doc, why don't we start with your introduction?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Nivedita Dadu. I'm a dermatologist practicing in Delhi. And so I will be answering all your questions on skin and hair, and a lot of questions about adult acne, keratin treatments, and the
Right.
latest skin treatments at dermatology clinics. So I'm sure you all have a lot of questions on lasers and chemical peels and the best skincare routine that you can have for
Right,
a daycare routine, a night skincare routine. So let's see.
right.
Let's get started.
Lovely, Doc. What a fabulous introduction. And I've been hearing fabulous things about your work. And I think you're very well known in the Delhi circuit as it is. And Skin Diaries is also hosting a lot of lovely sessions from you. I am Diksha Mishra. I am a brand specialist and a mom of two. So mommyhood keeps me busy. I think all my viewers know that. And my basic first question to you would be before I take on the other questions, Doc. As a mother, as a businesswoman, as an entrepreneur, as even working women in general, you have to advise us what is a basic skincare regime which we can follow, which is doable, which is a 2-3 step maximum skincare regime, which has its must-haves. And what would you suggest, instead of like a very long, elaborate affair, which we don't really have a lot of time for? So, what would you recommend?
Yeah, so I would say there's a different skincare routine for morning and a different for
Right,
night. So in the
right.
morning, I would suggest use the right cleanser. And then, according to your skin concerns, maybe a serum, which could be a vitamin C serum. It
Hmm.
could be niacinamide for somebody who has acne or rosacea. It could be a pore refiner for someone who has open pores. And
Right.
then apply the right moisturizer according to your skin type, and then the sunscreen. So
Hmm.
sunscreen also will depend on the skin type, on your skin concerns, on
Right.
your sun exposure, and then maybe the makeup. So
Right.
that's the morning skincare routine. And
So morning, you
for
are
the
saying the first step would be, of course, cleansing, the
cleansing, yeah.
most basic and required step, followed
Hmm.
by your skincare specific treatment. So a
Yeah,
serum or a treatment as per your skincare.
yeah.
So any one thing you can recommend for a regular normal skin type?
So vitamin C should be good, and I recommend the stronger, good skin treatments in the night. So because
Right.
that is the time when your skin is rejuvenating. That is the time when
True.
your skin you can apply the stronger retinols and the pimple
Right.
cream or the
Right.
skin lightening exfoliating creams, the
Right.
glycolic acids. So that's what I recommend in the night. And most of the good strong creams are not suitable for day application because they
Okay.
can make your skin a little sensitive to sun. So
Right.
which is why the milder serums in the morning, followed by the sunscreen, and then for the night, there's a different skincare routine that I would recommend.
Right. Okay. So lovely. So that's a very good takeaway. So we should, in fact, preserve all our retinols and the heavier treatments for night, and for daytime, it has to be something very light, like a vitamin C.
Yeah,
Right? Okay.
yeah,
Wonderful. And followed by a moisturizer.
yeah. A moisturizer, then the sunscreen, which
Right.
is the most important thing. If there's one
Right.
thing that you have to apply, it has to be the sunscreen in the morning, and
Right.
then your makeup.
Right. So that is the golden rule. You have to have your sunscreen on.
Yeah.
So, Doc, tell us one thing. A lot of people think when you're indoors, sunscreen is not really required. What would you suggest?
So there's a lot of damage that can happen because of the tube lights, the microwave lights, the
Right,
laptop lights, the
right,
mobile lights, and
right,
then there's the UVA rays that
right,
can travel through the if through the windows also. So
right,
the UVA rays can cause a lot of damage even when you're indoors. So
right.
sunscreen is a must even if you're not going out, even if you're
Any
indoors.
recommended SPF?
Yeah, so I would suggest a sunscreen with SPF not less than 30 and a PA rating. So remember, the
Okay,
PA rating of the sunscreen is as important as the SPF. PA
okay,
rating of the sunscreen is an indicator of the UVA protection that your sunscreen can offer.
okay. All
And
right.
PA rating should be at least 3 plus for a good, decent
Sure,
sunscreen.
sure. So people, we will not be taking any brands names as of now. Skin Diaries is a portal by Johnson's and Johnson, so we are restricted in terms of taking any brand names. But you can always consult Dr. Navedita on the side if you want more detailed information. As of now, where yes, of course, we'll be noting down any of the questions that you have. You can drop them down in the question bar as well, but we'll be taking those up in the next half an hour. So this first half an hour, we've already got a set of good 20 plus questions that Doc has to answer. So we'll start with those. Right. And what about nighttime, Doc? Then when we move on to nighttime skincare regime.
So for night, a good cleanser, I recommend double cleansing because most of us
Okay.
are we have the makeup on, so we have to
Right.
remove the makeup, and then they
Right.
can be the right cleanser for your skin type. It could be a
Right.
salicylic acid based cleanser if your skin is very oily, pimple
Right.
prone, a
Right.
glycolic acid based cleanser, or it could be a normal moisturizing hyaluronic acid based cleanser if your skin is very dry, and then
Right.
your skincare routine. So I don't recommend cleanser, toner, moisturizer. I would
Right.
suggest a cleanser corrector moisturizer. So
Right.
toners have no added advantage and they are not
Oh,
closing your
really?
pores also. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I say cleanser, corrector, moisturizer, corrector could be depigmenting cream for somebody who has
Right.
blemishes. It
Right.
could be a retinol for somebody who requires an anti-aging cream.
Okay.
It could be an under eye cream for somebody who has dark circles. It could be a pimple cream for someone who has
Right.
pimples, and
Right.
then the moisturizer. So this is
Okay.
the nighttime skincare regime that I would recommend, and then we can formulate it according to your skincare concerns and your
Okay.
skin type.
Lovely. Okay, lovely. So you are saying we can effectively take off the toner aspect.
Yes. And
Okay,
remember, if you are doing a toner, it has to be always a non-alcohol based toner because
right.
most of the toners that we have are alcohol based and they're causing more
They
harm than
dry out. Yes,
they
yes,
dry
I've been
out.
hearing that. Yes. So, Doc, tell me one thing. What about these natural rose water as a toner? Is that something you
Yeah.
recommend?
So rose
Yeah.
water is one of the non-alcohol based toners that I would recommend if somebody has to apply a toner. But
Right.
remember, what a toner does is that it only balances the pH of your skin. It is
Right.
not doing anything to your open pores.
Right.
So if you are actually applying a toner to close your open pores, you should start doing a pore refiner instead, and
Okay.
maybe start using the right products, because usually people with oily skin are the ones who have open pores. So maybe
Right.
use the right face wash for oily
Face
skin, the
wash.
right
Okay.
makeup for oily skin, and then that can also eventually reduce your open pores.
Okay. Very interesting. So essentially, you have to replace your toner with, say, an pore refiner cream or a better face wash suited to open pores.
Yeah,
Right? Right.
yeah.
Any moisturizer which helps in open pores?
So there are moisturizers that have pore refiner properties. So
Right.
you can, so for somebody like me who
Right.
this me who's because we are all of us are so busy these days, we can
Totally.
maybe I would suggest moisturizers with open pores, sunscreens with vitamin C, so you can cut down on the number of products, the number of layers that you are
Right.
applying on your skin,
Right.
and then
Right.
it
Right.
becomes easier also for us to
Right.
uh, if we cut short the regime and just apply the
I know.
sunscreen with the vitamin C
Right.
and done.
A lot of times what happens is at night you are so like tired and you are sort of kind of zoned out and you're totally lazy. So that's, you need that one product. You'll wash your face, double cleanse, yes, of course, because most of us women, we usually always wear makeup. If nothing else, we wear a base. So
Mm-hmm.
double cleansing is important. Can we top it up with, say, coconut oil? What is your recommendation in terms of oil? Does it suit everybody or do you not recommend
So
it?
that depends on your skin type.
Right,
Coconut oil can be a very good makeup remover, but
right,
if that's the only thing that you want to do, if that's the only thing that you want to apply overnight, then
right,
it will not be the right thing for a lot of people. So if your skin
right,
is very oily, then maybe
right.
there are essential oils for people with oily skin. So maybe that is
Okay,
what you can do. And so a moisturizer, maybe something with jojoba oil is good for people
right.
with oily skin, with flaxseed oil.
Jojoba
So
oil.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jojoba oil. Okay, okay. So is that a special oil which helps in moisturizing
Yeah,
better?
that's for people with oily skin, and flaxseed oil is also another thing
Flaxseed
which can
oil.
control your sebum production. So if
Right.
there is one thing that you want to do, then maybe this could be
That
something.
one
But
thing.
for
Yeah.
yeah, I recommend glycolic acids in the night for pigmentation, or
Right.
maybe alternating glycolic acid with retinol
Right.
for somebody who's 28 plus. So
Okay.
then we can start with the anti-aging also after 28.
So, Doc, if somebody like me, I've never used a retinol. So, if you want to start out retinol, would you recommend consulting a dermat before, or do you think an OTC retinol product can work well for us just to
So
start out with?
yeah, so retinols are mild, so they're not very aggressive. So that's
Right,
something that people can use unless you are
right,
planning to conceive, unless you're
right.
pregnant.
Okay. Very
Retinol
important.
are
Yes, yes.
contraindicated in pregnancy,
Right.
lactation, and
Okay.
so retinol is they're mild. But then if somebody is looking for a more aggressive anti-aging treatment, then of
Right,
course there are stronger retinoid-based creams for which you should consult a dermatologist.
right. Also, Doc, I feel like each one of us have their own aging process. Somebody in the late 20s might look like they're in their late 30s, or somebody in their even in their late 40s actually is, 40s is the new 20s, might look like they're in their 30s. Like skin also ages accordingly. So, do
Yeah.
you think we should go as per the age bracket? Like, what signs should I watch out for? How would I know my skin is aging? That I need a retinol. Do I see some pigmentation or do I see some fine lines? Or should I go as per the age bracket?
So it is good to start a retinol when somebody is 28 plus,
Right.
and because if you start seeing the fine lines, then it could be very late, and then so
Oh,
you
okay.
want to start a skincare routine before you start seeing the
Before.
signs. And yeah, so if there is something that you have to, if you are actually planning to invest in a good nighttime skincare routine, then it has to be according to your skin concerns and
Right.
according to what you and your dermatologist can foresee. So if there
Right.
is, so for somebody who has a very dry skin, might
Right.
develop fine lines earlier than
Okay.
other, somebody who has a relatively oily skin.
And is fine lines irreversible or
Yeah.
it's
So if you have, sometimes it is at the initial stage, then maybe you can just do with a good retinol based cream
right, right,
or a retinaldehyde. And then maybe the next stage is Botox, botulinum
right,
toxin. So
right,
botulinum toxin is also, I would say, a stage where you have dynamic fine lines. So when
right,
I say dynamic fine lines, these are lines that you develop when you are making a particular expression.
right,
So when you're, so lines that you develop around your eyes when you're
right,
smiling,
right,
or on the forehead when you're frowning. So so when you're developing these lines when you're making a particular expression, then you will do well with botulinum toxin.
right,
But when the lines become permanent, which means
right,
you can see the lines on your face even when you're not making an expression, then
right.
even botulinum
Hmm.
toxin will not
So
help, and
probably
then
on the
you will get
sides of your
stronger.
lips and your eyes,
Yeah,
right? Yes,
yeah, the corners of the eyes and
the
the
corners of
forehead.
the eyes. Right,
The
right,
forehead.
right. Okay, wonderful. So, but doc, how often do you recommend Botox? This is a relatively new age treatment. By new age, I mean in the past few years that it has come about. Is there enough scientific study done to know its side effects, or
Yes.
how often do you recommend?
So botulinum toxin is now, I would say, there's a lot that has been studied on this topic, and it is
Right,
actually safe.
right,
Botox, there are certain contraindications, of course,
right.
if you're lactating or if you're planning to
Of
conceive,
course. Yeah.
pregnant. And then there are certain muscle disorders where it is contraindicated.
Okay.
So, but other than that, Botox
Muscle
is,
disorder, you mean facial muscle disorder or like a
yeah, any
body muscle?
disorder,
Okay.
any muscle disorder, this myasthenia gravis. There are a lot of other
Right.
issues where it is contraindicated. But otherwise,
Okay.
by and large, if you see a dermatologist,
It's safe.
your dermatologist is going to recommend you the right time to start. And so the effect of Botox lasts for about 4 to 6 months, and then you have to
Right.
repeat. But if you
Right.
don't start it at the right time, then
Okay.
there are chances that what you have ultimately are the static lines. They're not dynamic lines, which
Right.
means you've reached a stage where you will see the lines on your face even when you're not making an expression.
Right.
And so then Botox also might not help.
Okay. So then what happens? Then what do you
So
recommend in general?
then there are, so we do stronger treatments to
Okay.
maybe reduce the lines, maybe some
Right.
lasers that can build
Right.
collagen, that can trigger collagen, so that can
Right.
reduce the appearance of these lines.
Right. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Tell me, Doc, what about peels? Peels is equally popular nowadays, and it's become literally a go-to treatment. It's become like the new facial, getting a peel done. In fact, a lot of these facials involve getting a peel done, the medical facials. So, what is your take on them?
So there are different types of peels, and depending on the problem, the skin issue, the indication,
Right,
you can get a salicylic acid based peel if you have
right,
oily acne prone skin. You
right,
can get a glycolic peel if you want instant glow. Then there's
right,
a different peel for back. There are peels according to this the body part also. So there are
right,
different peels for underarm pigmentation.
right.
uh, there are different peels for the body pigmentation. So there's trichloroacetic acid peel that we do for
Okay,
acne scars. So depending on your skin
okay,
concerns,
okay.
uh, your dermatologist will suggest the right kind of.
Anything we can do for fine lines besides Botox?
Yeah, so there are a lot of treatments for fine lines. There's the
Right,
lasers also. These
right.
lasers are the erbium YAG laser, the CO2 laser. They are
Okay,
lasers that trigger collagen production. So they will
okay,
boost your collagen production. And slowly, with every session, you will see that the fine lines become lighter, they become less visible.
right,
And but remember that since it's an anti-aging treatment and all of us are aging every day, So there
Right.
is something or the other that you'll have to keep doing all your life. It's no
Right.
anti-aging treatment result is permanent, and you have to
Right.
keep doing
Right.
some effort to sustain the results.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. It has to be done over days instead of a one-stop thing. And I believe every 4 months you need a refreshment as well,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes. And do you also recommend some creams for aging, anti-aging, fine lines?
Yeah, so like I said, retinol-based creams
Right.
to start with, and then for somebody who has a very dry skin, might not do well with retinols because retinols can be a little
Right.
irritating, a little
Right.
they can be a little exfoliating for
Right.
skin. So then, in
Right.
that case, you can maybe start with hyaluronic acid, which is a little more
Hyaluronic acid.
and
Yeah.
hydrating.
Right. So, Doc, a lot of people are still, I mean, I can speak for myself, who's never really ventured out, never been adventurous enough to get a treatment done. So, any home remedy which you can recommend for our viewers?
Yeah, so home remedy you want for pigmentation, then there could
For
be
just generally anti-aging.
for anti-aging.
Right.
Home remedy would definitely include egg white. So egg
Egg
white is
white.
something that is, yeah. So egg white has a good anti-aging property. So egg
Okay.
white, I would want to add 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, because cocoa powder has
Cocoa
good
powder.
antioxidant properties, and also to
Okay.
mask the
Wonderful.
smell of the egg white. And
Egg white.
then it depends
So,
on
does it
your
also
skin type. So
boost
if you
collagen? Does it also boost
the cocoa
collagen, egg white?
yeah, so you have to
Cocoa.
understand that
Okay.
whatever you are applying on the skin for a couple of minutes is not going to trigger a lot of collagen production. It can only give you
Right.
a firmer look for a couple of days, and
Firmer.
then you'll have to. So it can be something for in your early 30s, but then after that, when
Right.
once the aging process actually starts, and then you start seeing the fine lines or wrinkles or
Right.
the sagging skin, then
Right.
maybe the home remedies alone might not help, and then that's when you
Right.
require uh, the treatments, the dermatology.
Okay. Right. Of course. Of course. Lovely. So I'm going to open up my question sheet once. One of the things that the viewers actually had written to me about this treatment, which is very popular abroad, we see a lot of lip pigmentation and a treatment to cure that. So a permanent way of having a lipstick, the lip
Yeah.
color basically.
So
So,
yeah, so lip pigmentation it usually happens because of dryness, and
right,
in women the most common reason is using a matte lipstick.
right.
So I would suggest you start using creamy glossy lipsticks, because they
Okay,
don't extract the moisture from your lips.
right,
And it can also happen because in smokers,
right,
in somebody is consuming a lot of tea
right,
or coffee, then that can
right,
also increase the dryness of your lips and increase the pigmentation of your lips.
right,
There are gels that are available that you can apply that contain
right.
lactobinic acid, that can be a little exfoliating for your skin. But I would suggest a good lip lightening treatment would be a combination of lasers. We do Q
Okay,
switch lasers
okay,
that give you a good result.
right.
And if there's a lot of dryness, I would also want to do some hydration booster injections on the lip.
Like a filler,
Yeah, so not
right,
exactly a filler. These are
right.
similar products, but filler would give you a proper definition of the.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for somebody who does not want to enhance the lips,
Right,
just want the hydration, there are different products
right,
similar to the
right,
hyaluronic acid of filler, and that
right.
we do in combination with the lasers, and then that
Mm-hmm.
gives you a good result. Now, since you
Okay,
were talking about the lip permanent makeup or the lip tattooing,
right.
that's something that has not shown a very good result in Indian lip pigmentation.
Okay, all right.
So, of course, that similar tattooing when you do on the eyebrow
Right,
for
yeah,
microblading, yeah,
right.
that has very good results, but not on the lips. So
Not on the
lips,
lips.
other results don't. You will not see the results more than they last for about a month or 6 weeks, and then
Right.
you to get it done again.
Okay.
So,
And
so
your
I
take on microblading, of course. Something I
microblading
feel
works.
which is a new fad.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
doing
That's
the
a good.
rounds, right?
Yeah. For thin eyebrows.
Right. So do you also do microblading at your clinic, doc?
Yeah, so we've also been doing microblading for
Right.
people who've lost. So there's thinning of brows that happen with
Right.
age or
Right.
because of certain medical conditions. Then
Right.
maybe a thyroid disorder. Then
Right.
microblading will be done.
Does it have any side effects as such, microblading?
So there are no side effects, but then there are
Right.
certain things that we have to look for before we uh, take up a patient for microblading. So
Right.
as in choosing the right candidate, I would say is more important. So
More
otherwise, as
important.
side effects.
Any cream or oil you would recommend for eyebrow growth, hair growth?
So in general, there's castor oil that enhances the growth
Castor oil.
of
Right.
eyebrow,
Right.
and there are molecules that are available to enhance the eyebrow and eyelashes. But then
Right.
the problem is that the moment you discontinue these, you will see that again uh,
Okay.
the thinning again starts happening.
So you're saying they're more of a lifelong process rather than,
Yeah.
for a few months we try
Of
them
course, we
out.
have to fix the underlying issue. If there is a reason
Right.
why somebody is losing the eyebrows, then we have to. There could be certain blood tests that I would want to get, or maybe
Okay.
examine the
All
skin
right.
to understand why they are losing
Okay.
the eyelashes or
All
eyebrows.
right. Coming to our next question, Doc, perennial question, especially with moms, dark circles.
Yeah.
What is your take on them? What are the treatments available in the market, and what do you recommend?
So dark circles can be because of various reasons. It could be
Right.
because of the lack of sleep.
Right.
Anything that reduces the blood supply around the eyes will not
Right.
flush out the toxins. So if
Right.
you're not taking the right diet, something
Right.
diet rich in iron, vitamin
Right.
B12
Right.
is important for eyes, and alcohol and smoking also reduces the blood supply around the eyes,
Of course.
and so you will see that over a period of time there's a darkness around the eyes and the eyes look fatigued and tired.
Right. Right.
And I would suggest creams, of course. So
Right.
vitamin K based creams, because
Vitamin K.
they reduce the pigmentation around the eyes, and
The Kijovit,
so
what is
that
that product? If
yeah
you could tell our viewers, even if
so
not a
that's
brand,
yeah, so any vitamin K based cream should be
vitamin
good
K.
for pigmentation. But remember, there are different components of pigmentation around the eyes. There could
Right.
be the small blood vessels that are
Right.
giving the bruise kind of appearance
Right.
around the eyes,
Right.
the bluish gray pigmentation around the eyes. That's
Right.
because of the blood vessels. So
True.
that's where the vitamin K
K helps.
under eye cream
Okay.
is going to work.
Right.
And for somebody who has just the normal regular pigmentation, a normal
Right.
under eye cream,
Darkness, you
vitamin
mean.
C, yeah.
Right.
So vitamin C based creams should also help.
Help. Okay.
Then there's the under eye hollowness. So if
Right.
you have deep set eyes and your
Right.
eyes are looking dark because
Right.
of the hollowness that you have
Right.
below the eye,
Right.
then
Right.
such people will not respond well to anything except fillers. So then
Fillers.
you
Right.
require under eye fillers that will
Right.
fill the hollowness that you have below the eye, and that's
Right.
when your eyes start looking rejuvenated.
And how long do these fillers last?
So filler would last for about 1.5 years,
Right.
1.25 years, and then you can get it done again if you're liking the results. So,
Right.
but the results will last for about a year.
Okay, lovely. Okay. Doc, the next question would be hair removal, I think this lockdown has taught us one thing, if nothing else, how important hair removal is. All us
Yeah.
ladies are suffering and somehow managing this at home. Now the salons have opened up, but for a few months we all did go through that rough patch where we were managing this on our own. So, how do you recommend, laser hair removal, especially for the face? Because I've heard a lot of horror stories as well where the treatment has kind of backfired. And a
Yeah.
lot of people have this myth that a lot of times the hair actually comes back thicker. So, what is your recommendation?
So it is important that you get the hair removal laser from the right place.
Of course.
If you're it done by a dermatologist, a qualified and experienced dermatologist, it is important that we use the right laser depending on the kind of hair that you have, and
Right.
then the parameters are set according to the kind of hair that you have, the complexion of the patient, the body part that is being lased. So these are the things that are important. And then, of course, if somebody has, if a female patient has hair on areas where usually males have hair, like the lower abdomen, the lower back, or the
Right.
face,
Right.
these are areas where usually females should not have hair, and in such cases, most people would require a hormonal evaluation.
Okay.
So that's also one thing where people go wrong. So
Right.
if we are not diagnosing the underlying cause, it could be a polycystic ovarian disease, it could be a thyroid, it could
Right.
be, so there are various reasons why a female would have unwanted hair on the face. And
Right.
so it is important to treat the underlying hormonal imbalance also, because if we don't treat the underlying hormonal issue, you will see that, so you will not get the desired results. You may
Right.
require more number of sessions also.
Right.
And so it is, so, and when I fix the underlying issue, when I give
Right.
you, when I treat you for thyroid or PCOD, you will
Right.
see that you respond better to the hair removal laser also.
Right.
So there are various things that we have to keep in mind before we start hair removal laser.
So
And of course,
basically, it has to be a holistic approach.
yes, yes. So if it is done in the right way, then definitely results are good.
Right. So a lot of times, Doc, I think we all work and live in an instant gratification world, you know. We want results now. And a lot of times treatments are happening without actually identifying these underlying causes, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, I would think, oh my gosh, I'm having pigmentation, what can I apply? But almost every time your skin concerns and your hair concerns actually are directing you towards a bigger problem internally,
Very
right?
true. Yeah.
So, do you as a doctor, like first, recommend a lifestyle change and getting these blood tests done, most importantly, rather than going for treatments?
Yes. So most of the times, when, especially in cases like hair fall,
Right.
people feel that just by, so they tell me that I've taken biotin for 2 months and I don't see an improvement. But then most
Mm,
of the times I've seen that there's an iron deficiency or a
right.
thyroid, or there's, some major issue that is triggering the hair fall if somebody is not responding to just the vitamin supplements. And
Right.
till you fix the underlying issue, you will not see a very
Right.
good improvement in your
Right.
hair.
Coming to hair, doc, tell us about treatments for hair fall. I think something which everybody would like to know. And in the same tone, if you could also tell us about new age treatments like keratin and hair Botox, what is your take on that?
Yeah. So for hair fall, I would suggest biotin and zinc supplements, but I would also want uh, uh, to get the iron and B12 and vitamin D and thyroid tested. And then there are treatments like mesotherapy and PRP, which are
Okay,
very
right,
good for instant results.
right,
So, of course, I would suggest mesotherapy and PRP after I've seen the blood reports, because, like I
right,
said, till I fix your iron
right.
deficiency or your thyroid disorder, mesotherapy and PRP also will not help. And
Okay,
then, so the difference between mesotherapy and PRP is that mesotherapy involves injecting these serums that are
right.
they are hair boosters and growth factors and stem cells.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we infuse them in your scalp,
Our
and they
own stem cell?
no. So
Okay,
your own stem cell is something which we are utilizing when we say PRP.
PRP.
So in
Okay,
PRP, we are taking your blood and extracting your platelets from your
right,
blood, and your
right,
platelets have growth factors that are going to improve your. They are going to strengthen your hair. They are going to improve, promote hair growth. So
right,
that's something that I would. So I do. I usually recommend a combination of mesotherapy and PRP,
right,
and so the results are really good when you once fix the underlying issue. That's
right,
which is as important as
right,
taking the vitamin supplements.
right. So, Doc, one of the questions which came up here, and also in general, I had a few of my friends ask me, what products do you recommend in terms of hair and skin? Do you recommend just medicinal brands, or brands which are luxury brands, lifestyle brands, skincare brands, which one do you think is more effective? Not taking any names since we cannot do that on this portal, but in terms of just efficacy, which product would you recommend?
So you're talking about hair fall or
For
what is
hair and skin in general. Should we
so
look
for
at OTC products, drugstore products? Should we look at luxury
So
brands?
that depends on your hair concern also. If your hair
Okay,
concern is dry, frizzy hair, or hair fall, or dandruff,
right,
and uh, we'll choose the product accordingly. And
right,
then also, whatever you're applying for 2 minutes on your hair is not going to make a lot of difference.
right.
So it has to be always internal. So
Hmm.
you can go for an OTC product also, and
Right,
just check the ingredients if they are the ingredients are, so maybe if you're looking for something for dry frizzy hair, a conditioner that has jojoba oil and
good.
avocado oil should be good.
Okay, right.
But for somebody who has very dry hair, and so the avocado oil is also not helping, then maybe Moroccan oil, argan oil.
Okay,
But then remember that these are things that are that you are applying, and so the results could be instant, but they may not last long. And then
right,
there are things that I would want to prescribe to treat your hair internally. So,
right,
so for somebody who has very dry, brittle hair, I would
right,
want to prescribe a vitamin C,
right.
because oral vitamin C's can also help you reduce the dryness of your hair. So
Okay,
I would want to treat it internally rather than just fixing the problem
of
by
course.
using the right hair care products.
Okay, vitamin C, that's very interesting. I've had a lot of that during this lockdown. I think everybody's had a lot of vitamin C. So, yes, I think that is the reason why we can see a change in our hair, maybe. But very interesting. Any other product at home which you can recommend, Doc, for hair fall in specifically?
Yeah, so for hair fall, I would suggest omega 3.
Right,
Omega 3 is very good for hair, especially hair fall in women.
right,
And so you need not take the omega 3 capsules if your
right.
diet is rich in omega 3. If you are a non vegetarian, then maybe fish.
Okay,
And uh, then, along with this, of course, zinc is very good for hair.
okay,
So these are the things that I would recommend. And keratin,
right.
I don't recommend, because keratin scientifically it has formaldehyde. So
Hmm.
formaldehyde is, of course, it's a carcinogen. But then, other than that, also keratin. It so as the name suggests, keratin is the building block of hair. So one may feel that when you're getting a keratin treatment, you're actually infusing protein in your hair,
Protein.
whereas this is not true. The truth is that they are putting formaldehyde in your hair, which is a chemical, and which may give you an instant smoothing and straightening. But then I've seen a lot of cases of hair fall after 2-3 months of keratin treatment.
Right, right,
So that's one thing that I would not recommend. But then if you've already got that done, then you can see a dermatologist, and then there's
right.
always a
Any
treatment.
reason why it's such a fad currently in India, especially every second salon that you go to, they would recommend you a keratin. And even though I haven't ventured on that path, but every time I enter a salon and they promise me these results, and I'm almost tempted. But obvious, as a layman, you're tempted. You're like, okay, let me try it out. But any reason why it's become such a fad?
Yeah, that's because it's difficult for all of us to blow dry your hair every day, and
Right,
so it's so once you're done, you've got a keratin treatment, then things become easier, life
right.
becomes simpler. And
Life
so if you
becomes
have to so every day it's difficult. When you have to go to office, you can't
right,
go without blow drying also. So then,
right.
so that way keratin is a blessing. But then, since I've seen a lot of damage that happens after keratin treatment, there is this glyoxylic acid treatment also, which is
Okay.
a keratin treatment, but does not involve formaldehyde. So it
Okay.
is relatively safer, but not a lot of places are doing glyoxylic acid based keratin treatments.
Okay.
And so it is safer than formaldehyde, but then it
Right.
also has some side effects on your hair.
Okay. What about hair Botox? Is that safe?
So yeah, so as when you're applying a chemical on your hair, I would say it is not safe. But then whether it is smoothing or straightening or coloring or
Right.
hair keratin or hair Botox,
Hmm.
one thing that you can add if you've already got these treatments is that you start conditioning your hair well. Go
Conditioning.
for regular hair spas, because
Right.
there's a lot of damage that has already happened to the cuticle of your hair. And so what
Right.
has actually happened is that you will see slowly that the hair becomes brittle, and which is why it is
Right.
breaking. So
Right.
then to condition your hair, to moisturize your hair well, maybe go for deep conditioning or
Right.
leave-on conditioners, and then you
Right.
can maybe reduce the brittleness of your hair, and then
Right.
slowly the hair fall also may reduce.
Right. Tell me, Doc, the relevance of oiling, a lot have been said and unsaid about oiling. Every month there's a new research, new study. One day I hear argan oil say, you must massage your scalp. The other day I know a dermatologist who recommended do not massage your scalp. What is your take?
So, oiling, when you're massaging your hair, you are increasing the blood supply to your hair, and
Okay.
which is why oiling is good. But I
Right.
usually don't recommend hair oils, because
Right.
overnight oiling has no added advantage. If you're
Okay.
oiling your hair to reduce the dryness and frizziness of your hair, then might
Right.
as well go for conditioners.
Right.
Also, I've seen a lot of acne that happens because of overnight oiling, acne on the
Right.
forehead.
Right.
And oiling, if you have to, it has to be not more than 1 hour before your head wash. So no
Okay.
overnight oiling. And
Okay.
then if you are going ahead with oiling, I would suggest a mixture of castor oil and
Castor oil.
olive
Okay.
oil. So there are different oils that you mix and apply. So I've done a
Right.
lot of videos, DIY videos during lockdown, which are
Okay.
available on my Instagram handle, which is Dadu Skin
Okay.
Clinic. So these are available on my
Lovely.
IGTV, and you can have a look at these videos. And so there are a lot of DIYs that you can go for hair and
Okay.
skin.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
Dadu Skin Clinic, right?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
going to definitely check those out. I think, Doc, lots of questions coming in. Should we open
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are the side effects? Apoorv Sharma wants to know of hair wax. Does it cause hair thinning, or is it something that can be used without any damage to the hair?
So wax can, again, like I said, pomade acne, which is the acne that you get when you're applying hair oil for a long time. So
Right.
acne that happens because of applying hair wax, that's one thing. And
Right.
then, of course, so I would suggest whatever you're doing for your hair,
Mm-hmm.
to your hair, should not be something that you're doing for a long time. You have to keep
Right.
changing your hair
Changing.
styling products, because
Yeah.
most of the hair styling products can cause damage to your hair if used for a very long time.
So I've heard this also. Tell me if I'm wrong or it's a myth that you have to keep changing your shampoo as well every 2, 3 months, to get a better result. Is that true?
Um, I would say that's true for if somebody has dandruff, because dandruff
Right.
is a fungal infection. So
Hmm.
some of you may feel that your skin, your hair has stopped, your dandruff has stopped responding to the particular
Right.
molecule that you were using. So then
Right.
the dandruff may become resistant, and you have to keep changing your dandruff shampoos.
Changing.
But other
Okay.
than that, you can keep using the soap and the shampoo for as long as you want to.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. Uh, Somebody wants to know recommendations for pigmented skin. I think we covered that at the start of the session, right?
Yeah, so for
Yes.
pigmented skin, I would want to get vitamin B12 and iron levels checked.
Sure.
Use the right sunscreen.
Hmm.
That's the most important thing. Even
Right.
if you're indoors, check the PA rating and SPF of your sunscreen. Also,
Right.
in the night, you can start applying a glycolic acid-based cream.
Right.
Glycolic acid is a mild exfoliator, so you can,
Right.
if you have a normal skin, you can start with
Any
10% glycolic.
percentage you can recommend?
Yeah, so
10%. Okay.
10% glycolic acid for a normal skin, for somebody with
Right.
or somebody with oily skin. But if you have a
Right.
very dry skin, then maybe 3% glycolic acid and kojic acid based creams. I have
Right.
done a video on D-Milan, which is a skin lightening cream, contains
Okay.
10% glycolic acid and 2% kojic acid and arbutin. So that's one
Okay.
cream that you can start applying, maybe
Okay.
dilute it in a moisturizer. This video is
Right.
available on my YouTube channel, which is Dadu Medical Center.
Right.
And in this video, I've told in detail about this cream that you can apply, how you can apply it in the night, so that you get maximum benefits out of it without any side effects. Make sure
Right.
you avoid the under eye area and the corners of the lips,
Okay.
because these are sensitive areas, and the
Okay.
corners of the nose also.
Okay.
So this glycolic acid should definitely help for somebody. And if this is not helping, then you need to see a dermatologist, because there are
Right.
other reasons also
Right.
for pigmentation that need to be ruled out.
Right. Doc, one of the questions which came up was vitamin C, since you recommended it so much, any strength of vitamin C that one should start out with?
Any,
Is there a
sorry?
strength, the
Any
percentage of
strength?
vitamin? Yeah.
Yeah, so vitamin C's are available. There are different types. For
Right.
somebody with normal skin, I would suggest an L-ascorbic acid. If you have a
Okay.
very sensitive skin, then you should go for magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, which is a milder
Mm.
vitamin C, good for
Okay.
people with sensitive skin. And
Right.
then about the strength, you can start with 10%, 15% vitamin C. But
Okay.
remember to apply it on a damp face. If you're on a damp skin, the absorption is better and the
Okay.
stinging sensation does not happen. So,
Okay.
and then if you're, I would suggest you apply it in the night. But then if you're doing some glycolic acid or retinol in the night, then you can apply vitamin C in the morning,
Right.
and also apply a sunscreen after that. There are
Right.
a couple of good brands that I would recommend. I've done videos on these brands, which are available again on my YouTube channel, which is Dadu
Right.
Medical Center. I've
Right.
also done a video on a very good vitamin C serum, which is available on my Instagram reel. So IG reel,
Okay. Okay.
that's on the Instagram handle Dadu Skin Clinic. So they
Okay.
can, maybe the audience can have a look at the video, and you can choose the right vitamin C according to your skin type and according to
Right.
your budget and according to
Right.
your skin
Okay.
concerns.
It's fabulous to see such Insta savvy docs nowadays. You all are doing a fabulous job in educating us. Great. Another question which came up, and I think a lot of Indians particularly face that, is the eyelid darkness. Along with dark circles under the eye, a lot of Indian skin tones I've seen, like their eyelids get darkened. So, what product would you recommend for that?
So vitamin C, and then there are
Again,
chemical
okay.
peels. Yeah, there are chemical peels that we do at our clinic for
Right.
eyelid darkness. Most of the times when somebody has eyelid darkness, it is heredity, which means your parents also have had this kind
Right.
of pigmentation, and it
Right.
increases with age. So
Right.
moisturization is the key. So you
Okay.
have to moisturize your skin even when you're doing an eye makeup. Of course, you would be moisturizing,
Right.
because, but
Right.
then that's the most important thing. Most of the times, the pigmentation that you have around the eyes could be because of the dryness also. So
Right.
moisturize your skin well. Apply a mild under eye cream containing vitamin C, vitamin K around the eyes, and for home remedies, maybe almond oil, something like
Almond oil.
almond oil, is very good
Right.
for peri-orbital pigmentation.
Can you apply almond oil under the eyes as well?
Yeah, yeah, why not?
Okay. Right. Okay. Lovely. We cannot, unfortunately, recommend a brand here, but Dr. Dadu would, of course, feel free to consult her. She also has an Instagram handle and YouTube channel where you can consult her for all the brands and specific questions. But, Doc, any oral medicine of vitamin C, could you recommend that?
Yeah, so there are brands available. I would suggest 500 mg once or twice a day
Right.
for skin and hair. So you
Okay.
can, and most of the vitamin C's that are available are dispersible tablets. They are
Okay.
mouth dissolving tablets. So
Right.
once or twice a day for at least 2 months, and you should see a
Right.
good improvement in your skin and hair.
Okay, lovely. So, Doc, there's a question bar. You must be getting some questions from there. If you can
Mm-hmm.
check, yeah.
Yeah.
But we have a hard stop in the next 5 minutes. I think it's going to be close to an hour.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you, everyone. Lovely stream of questions. Lot of people have
someone is
questions.
asking how to get rid of herpes zoster scars. So for herpes zoster scars, if they are pitted scars, if they are deep scars, then you would require lasers. So there are different lasers that we do depending on the
Right.
kind of scar that you have, and
Yeah.
these lasers build collagen. So which is how with every session you will see that the scars become shallower and they become less visible. So for
Okay.
herpes zoster scars, this is what I would recommend. Then there's all right, so this Olympia is asking how to get rid of acne scars. Acne scars are of different types, again lasers and chemical peels. So I've done videos on different types of acne scars and the treatment according to the scars and the creams that I would recommend for acne scars. These videos are available on my YouTube handle, which is Dadu Medical Center, and on my IGTV, which is Dadu Skin Clinic. So there are two
Right.
separate videos on the treatment, the laser treatments and the scar creams that I would recommend if somebody does not want to go for lasers.
Right. Thank you. Very interesting. Very insightful session, Doc. I must thank you on behalf of all the viewers. I love how you're giving out very specific information, which kind of, sometimes lack, but here it's wonderful. You've given out, I think, a lot of information for everybody to process and kind of further use. Should we take up more questions, or in general, you just have a piece of advice?
Yeah. So I think we've covered most of the questions. Yeah, so there's Apoorv Sharma is asking, is blow drying your hair daily?
Oh,
Does it have any bad effects on your hair? I would suggest if you're blow drying your hair, use minimal settings, the lowest possible setting. Also, I would suggest you apply serums on your hair that are
right,
silicone based, because
right.
silicone forms a coating on your hair, and
Okay,
then so the hair does not get damaged due to the
right.
heat of the blow dryer. So
Very important.
silicone-based serums are important for
Right.
somebody who's wanting to use blow dryers every day.
Right. Great. So festive season just around the corner. Even though the outings would be less, but still we would be blow drying and straightening our hair quite often. So silicone sprays are a must then. Okay, fabulous. In any general piece of advice, Doc, to end this lovely session, some must do, must have, being a dermat, being in the industry for all the young ladies out here, would you recommend something?
So must do, I would say sunscreen. That's the
Right,
most important skincare routine
right,
that I would want everyone to follow. And
right.
then, of course, the next important thing could be a vitamin C serum,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the least that you can do for your skin. After
Right.
sunscreen, I would say vitamin C serum, apply it in the night if you're not applying a retinol in the night. And
Okay.
of course, choosing the right products is also important. And
Right.
uh, so, and the choosing the right products, when I say products, it is vitamins, the right vitamin C, the right retinol, and choosing the right makeup is also important. I've seen a lot of people breaking out because they're applying the stick based foundations.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's also one
Right.
thing I would, it clogs your pores, it can trigger comedone production, although it's something that all of us love because they're quicker and they give a
Right.
better coverage. But
Right.
a stick-based foundation can cause a lot of breakouts, acne. I see a lot of cabin crew with comedones because they have to apply
Mm-hmm.
makeup for long hours,
Yeah.
and uh,
Continuously. Yes.
yeah, a lot with a lot of layering. So that can
Right.
also trigger a lot of comedone production.
Okay. Lovely. All right, Doc. Thank you so much for this lovely, lovely session. I think you've left a lot of us wanting to know more. I think that's the beauty of a good live session. My biggest takeaway is vitamin C. You've advocated it so much. I'm definitely going to incorporate it in my regime now. So thank you so much. And thank you to Skin Diaries for this lovely opportunity.
Thank you, Diksha, and thank you,
It was
Skin Diet.
lovely interacting with you.
Thank you. Same here.
Thank you to all our viewers also for being with us and being so patient with us. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions and any specific details you want, you know who to contact now,
Thank you.
right?
Bye bye.
Okay, Doc. Thank you so
Same here.
much.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.